Good evening, everybody.
Really, dude? Really?
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, good night.
How was everybody's day today?
Huh. Interesting. Interesting. Lucian, I have a brand new respect for you.
Really? What did I do now? Again.
You actually didn't do anything. They had this woodworking class at Chant, and it's interesting how setting up for an exhibition can be, even though you do little pieces and you're learning. It's a lot of work. So I have a newfound respect for you, and
Thank
the
you.
amount of time that it takes to do one little piece. I could only imagine doing an entire exhibit. So
Yeah,
congratulations on all your work, dude. I appreciate that now.
I appreciate it. Yeah, first thing is just like,
Part of lifelong journeys to learn new things. So I learned woodworking, how to make pens, how to carve stuff, how to make, relief paintings and carvings, and how to use epoxy. But learning is a wonderful thing. So I really appreciate it.
It
yeah.
It's the
really
thing to
is.
keep a relationship interesting as well, as by the way. So going, moving right
Oh,
along.
definitely,
That's true. That's true.
definitely.
Learning new things. Um, okay. Well,
Debbie, we can't hear you.
oh, you can't hear me?
Can anybody hear Debbie?
I can hear
I
her.
can hear Debbie.
Yeah, I'm
I,
hearing them loud and clear.
You're not hearing
I
me,
guess it's
Lucian?
me. Let me log out and come back in.
Okay. Um, while he is doing that, um, oh shoot, what is going on tonight? Okay. I just wanted to acknowledge a post that seemed to interest a lot of people these last couple of days. I see that now it has 83 comments and it has a post reach of 671 people looking at it. Um, so
Mm.
it's the post was it was by Mbaku and it said, "Do women ever sit back and say, 'Damn, I was wrong. I'm gonna call him and apologize." Um, from what the last time I read it, it seemed like the consensus was men do not feel like women apologize.
No, we don't, because you guys don't actually do that. But go ahead.
So you've never met anybody who apologized, is
I'm
what you're
not
saying.
saying okay. You guys do apologize, but just now when it pertains to your relationship stuff, it's always the guy's fault. Why you guys did what you did. So in turn, it's our fault.
I guilty for saying that many times. So
Yeah, you
I
know.
would not do it if you didn't do it. So
I mean,
yeah.
I changed.
I
Are you
find
the ones? Are you the ones? I changed because of you.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
I've said that too.
I'm not that one. That is definitely not me.
You see, the thing is women apologize when it pertains to things outside of relationship problems. Oh, I shifted around the couch. I'm sorry. Oh, I forgot to put him to bed. I'm sorry. Oh, I forgot to turn off the light. The light. I'm sorry. Those things you guys say sorry for. That's totally fine. You guys go to work, you tell your boss and your customers and everybody sorry all the time. It's okay. But when you get your chance with your husband, your boyfriend, whatever, nah, this is the time when you're gonna win. And it's win, 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 win. So I wait, Mago, I read the post. Sorry, ladies.
Okay.
I don't apologize.
I
And
am not sure what kind of women he been around, Debbie. I've been asking. I failed. I'm giving up. I'm wrong, definitely in this one. I do not know. I don't know what kind of women you stay around, man. I mean,
I mean,
When I was ranchy age, I used to say exactly them things. I used to say them things. It's only
we,
God changed me. It's only wisdom changed me, but it sure want me who changed me.
I'm
I
not
could
hearing Pinky.
and that's when you was
Can
my
you
age. So Lucien, women in your age, because I like a
right?
baby. You know, I like a baby. So Lucien, in your age, do women
huh,
apologize?
I would say that I mean I've dated like in different age brackets, and I think the older the women are, the less chance of them apologizing.
You think the older
I
we
mean,
are,
they would just act like if nothing ever happened, and they just act like if nothing ever happened, and that's it. And I'm just like, okay, so we don't apologize. Um, I've noticed. I mean, too, it's happened in the younger generation as well. So I can't even say that. But I have had females apologize for their behavior, so I can't say that it's not been done. So it has been done.
That one real. Look at that. Look, women. Okay, like Debbie is saying, wow. Shelly, you like, oh, never. Be proud that you're a
I
part
still can't hear.
to
I still
5%.
can't hear. You can hear me, Ranchi?
Yeah,
I
we
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you good. I
Could
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
Hearing you.
you can't hear me, Lucia?
Shelly? But I can't hear Pinky and I can't hear Debbie.
That
Oh,
is
wow.
strange.
Something
I don't
wrong
know.
with
Pinky over here running her mouth. I don't know why you can't hear me.
Ah,
Shout out to the 5%, huh? The ladies are to apologize.
The 5%ers, I don't apologize now, but not when I was young.
Let me try to
Not
go
when
back and come back in again.
Not when I was a married woman. When I was a married woman, I did no wrong. I was not apologizing. Nope.
Never do no wrong, right? Yeah.
It was all his fault that I did wrong.
Wow.
And Shelly, so you've been this way, Shelly, from since you were born. You just always apologize. for
well,
your
I've
action.
always been put in a position where I've been blamed for everything. So I think that may have been it.
You were
It's
blamed
always
for
my
everything
fault.
for
So
what?
I tend to pay attention to things, and I've done that from very young. You know what I mean? Again, and maybe that's the reason why. Maybe that's the
Even when
reason
you
why.
were
Because
young, even when you were younger,
yeah, because I
Mm.
tend to look at my behavior because everybody always looks at my behavior, right? I'm odd.
Oh.
I've been odd from birth, apparently. So, I've always looked at my behavior and I've always taken responsibility for my behavior. If I say that somebody has done something wrong, it's because there's a behavior pattern and the behavior pattern isn't making any sense, right? So that's always been me, but that just may be part of my makeup.
I have always been accused of being the guilty party too, and I think that's why I don't have, my rebellious ways. So since everybody's okay, well I ran then. Okay, well I sure ain't apologizing for nothing. So because I was always accused, I'm like was on the rebellious side.
Yeah,
No.
well, for me, if I'm the common denominator, everybody can be wrong, but then I need to figure out what it is they're wrong about.
I know for sure.
But that's
I won't run.
broad base. That's broad base. But like for smaller stuff,
Even
you
for
just
smaller stuff.
get into it to your boyfriend or whatever. Do you just you were snappy today? You was on your red flag. Your red flag was up, and you were snappy, and you come back and be like, babe, I'm sorry. I was snappy earlier. I
I
didn't
do
mean to
that.
go out for that. You do that?
I do.
Wow.
If I
So
snappy and I tell you,
I guess a
I
lot of
I
times,
actually feel honored right now to be in your presence, being the 5%.
if I die in a bad mood, I know I die in a bad mood. So if I die in a
Right,
bad
and
mood, I'm gonna tell you I ain't in a good mood. Like let me be. If you keep harassing me, and you get a side of Pinky that Pinky don't even like, that ain't my fault. Cause I warned you that I wasn't in a good mood, and I want you to leave me alone. So if you keep aggravating me and you get the bad side, why would I apologize?
But then wouldn't the guy be considered like a bad guy for not even trying to find out why you're in a bad mood? Because then you turn around and say, I was in a bad place, and you even come and sit down and talk to me. You see? That's you making him feel wrong for what you were doing. You see how it went? No? Okay. So isn't it a bad thing? Is it a bad thing? Or is it okay for him to give you your space when you're upset and not trying to find out why?
Sometimes we don't know why, Ranchi. Sometimes we just wake up on the wrong side of the bed. Sometimes our hormones just ain't acting right. Sometimes we ain't feel good. Sometimes we ain't feel like giving an explanation. It's okay, it's okay to give space in a relationship so people could just breathe and calm down from whatever they're going through. They had a hectic day. Somebody cussed them really bad on the highway. It's human nature to not always be in the best mood. So if somebody tells me space, give me space.
Okay, but after the space, people
After
don't come back and apologize.
It depends on the individual. It depends on
I'm
the
with Debbie,
individual.
man. This sounds really, really odd to me.
It depends on the individual. If somebody isn't willing to accept, I mean, I've had people who have done some horrific things and they're men. I mean, I don't think it's just a woman situation.
Yeah, but what we're talking about, if you did something in a relationship, you don't like hold yourself accountable for it.
Well, we know I don't hold myself accountable to that. That's not the point I'm making. The point I am making is when I was younger, when I was a younger person, those were my actions, and I am speaking for people who are in those situations. That's what I'm talking about. Today, I don't hold myself responsible for anything that I do. So even if I cuss you because I've been in a bad mood and I said a wrong thing, I've grown enough, I'm mature enough, I know God enough to say, hey, I shouldn't have said that. I was wrong. Forgive me. But, they got people ain't gonna apologize. I know man who do things. That's why the song Shaggy it wasn't me. Right? You get catch in the act and it still wasn't you. You're not apologizing for it. So it's not just a woman thing. It's just human nature and the maturity level and where we are emotionally and spiritually and all them things that play into a person apologizing for what they are. But it's not unheard of that people don't apologize, is what I'm saying.
No, but that's fair. That's fair in a how to say that everybody has that point. But is it okay for your partner not to acknowledge you during that period when you snappy? I could walk in the house and be like, "Oh, you're in a mood? Suck my teeth, gone the next week." Is that okay?
That's not okay. No.
Right. But you're in a mood, and if I come to you now, you're gonna have an attitude, and you want to talk to me, then you snap at me, bam, you start to go off on me while I just trying to find out what's wrong with you. We get at it, boom.
Yeah, but I think we have to learn to understand that men and women approach things differently, and we have different things happening at different times and spaces in our life.
Apologize.
It's not fair.
I'm not saying you don't. I'm not saying you don't. I understand what you're saying, but most women don't. And that's what me and Lucian was saying.
But the reason why I say Ranch is because I know most men like the answer right away. That's why I'm saying because my sons don't do it to me. If I'm in a bad mood, me talking just for my sons to do it. Like, Mom, let we talk. It's like, Mom do not want to talk right now. And they insist that we have to talk right now. I've been in relationships where people insist that Pinky talk right now because they want to solve the problem right now.
Okay,
well,
but
I think,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just saying that I get what you all are saying, but in that context of what was said in the post, if you did something wrong, you should apologize. Whether you apologize at the moment or when you cool off and then you go back and you apologize.
But you know what?
Now we're not hearing you.
You hearing me?
You're going in and out. Go ahead now.
Yeah, so I think a lot of people don't think that they did anything wrong. In their minds, it's just like, okay, we had an argument and let's move past it now. And they don't want to sit down and discuss it either, which to me is just like really crazy to me. If something is happening at this very moment, we might not discuss it now. We can table it for a different time, but still, don't just act like in 2-3 days, like nothing happened. Because if this situation arises again, like it's going to continue happening until we have the discussion, usually. So the mature...
And when you have the discussion, you need to acknowledge that the person behavior might be because a lot of times people think they don't respect what a person feels.
And that's true too. Because sometimes you be like, me know you're going on so far. But then the way how you take it is not the same way how they take it. So I totally understand that. And me personally have had to like sometimes apologizing for me to blowing up how they feel about something, even though it seemed insignificant to me, but it wasn't insignificant to that person.
Exactly.
So it's all about growth and also like learning about yourself and learning
And
how
as a person.
Yeah, and how to accept your your bullshit. You know what I'm saying? We just don't know how to accept our bullshit.
Right.
You know,
Right.
people will go on and say, okay, so you know that what you did was wrong. You know this, but you still want to act like if like, you know, it's just unbelievable.
You
It's
know,
just
I
crazy.
come to the realization, Lucian, some people don't feel the action is wrong. Some
That's
people
what I'm
just
saying.
have totally different moral beliefs than you. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people don't believe it wrong. Some people justify their actions. Well, you took it the wrong way. You didn't hear what I said. It's a plethora of excuses I've heard in my
But again,
lifetime.
but
So,
again,
But you hear, you see that word you just used there? The word called excuses? That's exactly what it is. Got the same time while you busy throwing out excuses, my feelings ain't changed. I'm still hurt.
exactly.
I didn't deserve how you come at me there, and I just trying to make the change that you asked for. Cause I wasn't a supportive boyfriend before, but now I'm trying. And here I am today coming to you, babe, what's wrong? Pow, you snap at me. You just burned the bridge I was trying to build.
I think we need to give people space in relationships.
I
We
think
need
we
to,
need to have a discussion about how we communicate
right,
before we start a
Exactly.
relationship. Because
exactly.
some people are walk away people. They can't have a conversation when they're angry
Nope.
because it's going to
Nope.
create a different problem. But if you don't know how the person you're in relationship with communicates, then you're always going to get into it and it's always going to be how you want things to be done at the time. That doesn't make any sense. Communication isn't what you say, it's how the other person takes it. And that's just
Exactly.
it.
and it's
And it's
also what you say too, because if you're, look, I love the ideals situations. I love them. I would choose the ideal at any cost and at any time in life. But based on experiences, I like to talk from. And based on experience, if I notice you a certain way, you might say something to me, but I notice in your actions don't line up with what you say. I still have to address you according to how you show up in the world. Not based on what you tell me, but how I notice you showing up over a period of time. Can I expect that out of most people? No, I cannot. Right? So that's why I said we have to leave room for error. And then, because men, you do like to solve the problem. We have this issue with man and women communication where men are problem solvers, right? You hear a woman complaining when she come home from work or she had a hard day, you want to solve the problem. And the woman don't want you to solve the problem. She just want to vent. So we have to take this dynamic into the equation. I mean, I have to
I
now
agree.
at this age, I have to take that into the equation. If I complaining, he gonna want to solve the problem. If I don't want him to solve the problem, I can't get upset. You gotta walk through these things within your own self.
You got to
That
say to the
also is
beginning, listen, I need to vent, and then start to talk. Because we don't give information, right? And I mean, relationship, yes, relationship, no life, period. I mean, and that's something that we need to be able to do. We still have problems talking about taboo feelings within ourselves. And until we get past that, we ain't gonna say upfront, I don't like this, or this is what I'm doing, right? If the person wants to accept it or if they don't want to accept it, then it's on them at that point in time, yes. But we need to make our intentions and needs and our wants very clear up front. Most times we don't come in and we just start to talk. Now, listen, I want to vent, don't say nothing, right? Now they understand, just sit down and hush, watch, act cute, bring the chocolate. You know what I mean? That's it. You know what I mean? You ain't got nothing else to do. But if I come in and I start to tell you something and I don't tell you I just need to vent, yeah, you're going to want to solve the problem. That's what you're talking to me for.
And then too, I think too that sometimes we as men, we expect women to like how I feel about something, you're supposed to already feel the same way about it.
Yeah,
So
this
there's
mind
no
reading
like,
thing does just kill me.
yeah, exactly. And it's crazy because we keep on thinking that, okay, so what I do in a situation, like, okay, I want to talk. So just because I'm a talker, I'm projecting on you that you're supposed to be the same way. So
right.
whenever a problem arises, we're like, okay, I want to deal with that this way, and then I would expect you to deal with it
Exactly.
the same way. But then that adds to even more tension because it's just like, okay, I don't think in that manner. So why are you trying to project how you would do things on me?
Right.
So it's I mean that's why communication is very vital, but a lot of people, they just don't know how to communicate, like talking, like to even express how they feel, and that in a relationship is hard, you know.
True.
Yeah.
And not to mention, let we not leave out the big one out the equation, the dishonesty,
Mm.
right?
The master, yeah, for real, Pinky. Because I mean,
That's
like,
a big
if
one.
somebody asks you what happened to you and you tell them okay, we lying, right?
Exactly.
And that's
Or
just it. And
nothing.
then that sets off a whole nother discussion. And like when
Or
I ask you
nothing.
what happened to you and you
Thing
say
is,
okay and I walk away, then you're going to be vexed with me because I walk away and you're going to tell me you should know there's something wrong with me because the dishonesty. You're so
you see,
right.
sometimes when I'm a person that will say nothing. If I'm in a bad mood and I ain't in a mood to speak about it right now, I would say nothing wrong. You know, killer. I trying to how to say
Figure it out in your head.
figure it out in my head, find a way to bring it over without getting carried away. Trying to find a peaceful place, bring it, bring down the level. I could honestly say it's one of those people who say nothing, like hey, nothing ain't going on, I cool. Just leave me alone there for a second. I one of those. Other part don't know that used to want to find out what wrong. And that used to just piss me off because I said nothing wrong. So like leave me alone.
But you saying nothing wrong, but your body
But you
language
lie.
and your behavior is obviously saying there's something wrong. So they
That's
know.
what Pinky was
But then
just
it's like
saying.
I ain't want to talk about it right now. So stop digging. I'm gonna bring it to you, but not right now. Leave me alone. I'm gonna bring it to you, but just give me a break. That's a conversation. You should have understand and listen to what I just said. I said I don't want to speak about it now. I'm gonna bring it over to you in a while, not right now. Why are you pushing and then gonna get upset with me because I open up and say what was going on? So now upset about two things now. No, you just make me upset about two things. Why don't we just upset about something totally away from this relationship?
But
Fighting
and those them things that happen between mates all the time.
Yeah, they do.
And
No.
But
that
that's because we're not listening to what they said. We're hearing what we want to hear.
And we
Right, 'cause if you
projecting,
say-
like Lucian said, like we should talk it out. We should figure it out. We should solve the problem. I was like, yo, I ain't trying to solve no problems right now. Just let me be. You know what I'm saying?
that
Correct,
topic
right.
actually leads into something we talked about last night, where we talked about why do we hear what we want to and skip what was said.
Because
And I think
we're better at hearing than listening.
we're
You could hear music outside, but you wasn't listening to what kind of music was playing.
You weren't listening to the lyrics.
You wasn't, yeah. You were hearing the noise, but you wasn't listening to exactly what was taking place. A lot of people is here. They will have a whole argument just based off of what they're hearing, but they was not listening to understand what you were saying. So then you're done going in the wrong direction already.
Well,
You
you know what,
listen to
and
respond.
and that's very true, because I think at the moment you're not ready to hear what's being said. It's like you're not in the place yet to understand it. So if I'm in an emotional state, right, and then you're talking to me, and then I'm trying to understand I'm really understanding what you're saying, because I still have to like get over my feelings at the moment. So if I feel a way about something and you're talking to me, trying to explain your situation, then I'm hearing you, but as you said, I'm not listening to you, because I still have to feel that how I feel trumps what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
that in itself is a tough situation to be in. Like I remember like an instance where the person was telling me exactly how they felt, and I was just like, yeah, but that has nothing to do with how I feel, because I feel this way and I feel that way and I feel that way. And then like, because what they're telling me, it just didn't make sense to me. And then like months after, I was just like, oh, I get it. Because
months after.
How
yeah,
about
yeah,
how about years later? How about years later?
yeah,
Like, oh, that's what you were saying back then?
yeah,
But
because
question though, did
because
you
yeah,
apologize for that? Did you
I
go
mean,
back
yeah, I did.
afterwards and
I
apologize and
did.
be like,
I did apologize for it, and I've been like, I'm sorry that it took me like 3 months to understand what you were saying. But at the point, I was not in the mind space to understand what they were saying because I was too emotionally involved with the situation. So if it's something where that you know, as you were saying, like people they hear but they don't listen because if it's directly affecting you at the moment, then no matter what this person keep on telling you, you're not gonna hear it. I mean, you're just not gonna hear it, you know. And then when you keep on replaying it back and back in your mind, and then as your feelings come back a little bit now, then you're like, oh, okay, wow, you know. So
That's true. And actually part of why that is pertinent is because, and this is kind of segueing from that topic, but about this. Like we were talking about when you meet somebody and the person tells you, I am not looking for a relationship. They just want to date. But in your mind, you want a relationship and you're hoping that they're going to change their mind. And then when things don't go in that direction, that too causes problems.
Or when people tell you they don't want to get married and you think people should get married because we Christians and Christian people should get married because that's your belief system. It goes in so many different, when people just interested in a short-term relationship, but you interested in a long-term relationship, but you think that the person should be interested in
But again, this is why we have to really listen. I remember something I heard one time. Well, I've heard it many times, where they said that, like, if somebody says something to you, you ask them to repeat back what you said, because you know how that whole story goes. You say something to the next person, that person heard something else, based on whatever reason. And I just think that, again, we really don't listen. How we say it all the time, people listen to respond. And yeah, they hear it, but they don't really, I remember someone I was dating, and in my mind, I like to cook. So I would cook. And I remember the person saying to me, but I never asked you to cook. And I was like, you know what? That's true. They never asked me to cook for real. But again, we hear and understand on our own level, and we're not really listening to what the person is saying because we figure that we could change their mind.
Not only that, a lot of times we in a relationship with ourselves, the person is just a fill-in.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, we have a whole relationship based on all the expectations. So we are the person in the relationship because we've created the image and we are projecting it onto that person. And so we're not really in a relationship with the person. We're in a relationship with who we want the person to be.
With the idea of who we want the person to be. Did that, guilty of that crime, 100%.
He said crime. Oh, Lord.
The wise person once said, you might be planning for them, but they're surely planning for you. You know what I'm saying? So when you go in there with a plan at how, okay, me are going there and be, in a relationship with this person, but then in that person's mind, like, he gonna be my man. He gonna be my man, and I'm gonna marry him. So the same way how you planning for them, they're planning for you. Trust and believe that.
True.
I do feel though, when you're in those type of situations, you do know about it ahead of time. You do know what a person wants, what you want, and I think you need to revisit that conversation every so often again and remind that person, hey, I don't want to go further than what we're doing right now for whatever reason. And they might be like, oh, I thought that's what we was going into, but it's always good just to remind that person, hey, this is where we stand, this is what we're doing. Let's not get blinded.
Or you do want to go, or you want to make it even more meaningful, or you do want to go further. It could be either or.
Right.
Your original intention might be just to, just be on the side. But as Pinky has definitely brought to our attention many times. Emotions get involved, and emotions get involved on both ends, men and women.
Exactly. So it just comes on to having a revisit to the
Folks
conversation
to catch
of the
feelings,
goal.
right? Right,
Of the
Janos,
goal.
folks to be catching feelings.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, yeah.
catch
A lot of
feelings
feelings to
though.
be catching. A lot of feelings to be
I ain't
catching out
catching
there.
no feelings though. I'm done with that.
Ah,
Well,
Yeah,
all right.
I had my share of that.
Okay. So again,
But do you think that, I mean, like what Ranchi says, do you not think that it's supposed to happen? Don't you think that if you're getting into a relationship after a certain amount of time, because we are supposed to be growing regularly,
right.
shouldn't we have those conversations anyway?
I think it's a natural course.
But shouldn't we have the conversations? Because I
Of
mean, like,
course.
how many people do have the conversations? How many people have the conversations 6 months in? How many people have the
I mean,
conversation a
you have
year
to. You
in?
just be stagnant. You have to. I mean,
I
but you
don't think
know, I,
I
I
don't think
really
people
love
What?
do.
our ideals, you know. I
I don't
love
think
our
people do.
ideals. I love
I think people just are on the journey of the relationship, but they don't stop and have like a
yeah, but,
quarterly
yo,
conversation.
how
yeah,
come
but
we
where's
forgetting
where's the growth? Where's the growth?
But is the growth
how
solid?
come
It's
we
not to say that
forgetting
there
that you
isn't
got
growth.
two people in a relationship? Somebody just want to stay in for wherever they might want to stay in. For the other person don't want to stay in. People ain't being honest in these communication. People ain't communicating. People asking questions, they ain't getting no
Well,
answer.
so
Why are
so
we
so
forgetting this
that's a
major
whole lot
part
of
that'll
things,
happen?
Pinky. That's a whole lot of things. You're hoping that everybody comes authentic. You hope everybody comes truthful. You know what I mean? Why would we not? I mean, unless you're trying to play on somebody, you're trying to play games. I mean,
But we
I mean,
have
God
that.
forbid it
But we
happens, but
and it happens a lot, Janos. It happens a lot. That people are playing games with people's emotions. And Ranchi said it. Ranchi guilty as sin over there. Because Ranchi said, well, a man can't be honest. Because if a man just want the booting, he's not going to say, I just want the.
But Pinky,
He said,
I am
but.
able.
if a man come and tell you he want a
I'm
relationship,
happy
and
to be a part of the 10%. I'm happy to be a part of the 10% that does say, listen, this is how it is, you know. This is how we do, you know. I'm open
I
to that.
believe you like that, Ranchi, yeah.
Yeah, I ain't playing it. I ain't got to lie about it. Yo, this is what we do. Yes, no, maybe so. This is it for me.
But you know you's a 10%er. You use a 5%er in this situation, right?
It's 5%. I feel it's more like a 10% now. I feel to believe a lot of fellas won't do that.
Okay.
You really think they do?
Yeah,
Do what?
they do. Be open to
Revisit
tell.
that conversation and say,
Just be straight
just
with what they
reminding
want.
you, this is all that it is.
Well,
Booting.
it depends on the person's behavior. If the
it needs to
person's
happen.
behaving like if you like like belong to them or something, then you'd be like, hey, hold up, remember, this is what it is.
If this
So I
person
think
start,
it's on the person.
if that person start to bring
It,
you
it
food
depends.
off in on the job,
Yeah, it depends on the
start to
person's
call you every
behavior.
3 hours, starts to, be extra, come by, leave a toothbrush. Be like, hey, you forgot this. No, don't leave this. You have to go with this. Don't leave it behind. I'll be just like you push it, you have to pull them up. You gotta pull them up and say, go back with that toothbrush, girl. What you trying? No.
Wow. Yo, if homeboy tell me to go with my toothbrush, I get offended, man.
But you would leave it without having the discussion, Pinky?
I didn't even know at this point. I'm so confused. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say no more. I have no answers. I just confused. Okay, it's just too
No, but I
much.
mean, if we really truly want to have an authentic experience, right? But like I said, I think a lot of people don't do it because they're satisfied with the way that it is, and they feel like if they're honest, that it might change. And you don't want to come. We like to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So it is the ideal thing to do. I just don't think it's always done.
I think it's more
I
because
remember. I
people are
remember.
in fear.
There was a point in time where when I first said I was going to date, I was dating someone. We broke up, didn't talk for a while, and then ended up talking again. And I remember like a couple months of talking ever so often or whatever, he said something and I was like, whoa, like we are just friends. Like we're just friends. And he was like, touche, you're right. But I don't, like I said, I don't think that a lot of people honestly do that. I really don't.
Because there's a fear behind of it. You might
because you're fearful that person's going to say something contrary to what you want.
What you want, yeah. So you just go along for the ride.
Exactly. So
until you start putting labels and stickies on it, then that's when it gets messy. Then that's when it get real messy.
And even with the labels and the stickies, it'll get messy, right? Jeez.
And then you have social media, and then people posting pictures.
Hearts with the hearts around the head. Getting people in trouble, right? Just the hearts around the heart eyes.
No, but I'm just saying, like giving people labels, and labels have never been established. You know what I'm saying? So,
they've been established. It's just not a mutual establishment.
That's true. That's true.
Exactly, Shelley. Exactly. It's not
that's like what Lucien said. They don't plan for the time they meet you. They're not already planning for you. They know what their intentions are. So yeah, that's their mindset. They're going with a goal.
Yeah, but
we just have different goals.
Haven't you ever been in a situation where you said one thing, the other person said okay, and then later on they were either acting or figuring out or thinking that now it's something more than that?
I'm actually
the representatives, yes.
I'm just saying.
I'm going through some kind of shit like that right now. So some crazy shit like that right now.
Lucy, I mean, Louis, oh my God. I was trying to be.
I'm just trying to figure out what the hell. I'm trying to figure out what the hell going on. I'm like,
but maybe you need to do a self-check, because maybe like
I just said,
people go in saying they want one thing, and then it turns out to be much better than you thought. You just still working on your healing, and now you change your mind.
I'm good.
You know what happens with that? What happens with that is like you get into these like situationships, right? And then usually like the dude like us will be like, yeah, we just want to be friends. And then, okay, well, this is what it is. And then the girl now, she goes out there and like, okay, well, we can date and do other things. And then now when the girl finds somebody else now, you're like, what really going on here? Like, what's this? You know exactly. So all of a sudden now you have to realize, oh, I have feelings for this person. But guess what? It's too late.
It's too late though.
It's too late.
But sometimes, sometimes that'll be part of the trap. That'll be part of the plot.
I think so.
That's the plan. That's the plan that they had. They really win.
So
really win.
Exactly. They know you're gonna be in that location. So they're going to come in that same location, knowing they never discuss to you that they're seeing other people. Because it is be open, like if you start seeing somebody.
This is just games. This is one game after another.
It's our plots. So no, they're gonna bring this person on a date in front of you to see how you're gonna react. And now this is gonna draw you in, because it's two things gonna happen. Either you run, or is it run or fight, or you're gonna stay in.
Or you're gonna bawl, or you're gonna bawl, you're gonna cry.
You're gonna bawl and cry, but you're gonna pull her up. It's either you're gonna be you're gonna get a text like, wow. Okay. It's okay. See me, it's okay. Wow.
I see a joke from Kevin Hart this week about the wow.
Oh, it's like that? It's like that? That's what's going on?
Yeah. But this is the thing. If you're gonna be so hot when she moves off or she go be with somebody, then why let her leave? if we just being pure and genuine with our feelings, why,
Good point.
if you care for somebody and you want them in their life, why would you let them leave to go be with somebody else? Why?
Good
Because you're
point.
not healed.
Because
Huh?
some
If you're
people
not
are
healed,
scared.
why would you rush into it though? Yes, you lose. You did lose. You did lose somebody actually from feelings for. But
But
if you were not
I think
healed as a person, why would you rush into it now? Because
Rush?
you might be losing someone. It is a rush.
Oh,
It
God.
is a rush because at the same time, you had reasons why you didn't want a relationship.
Exactly.
reason.
Oh, Keisha said because they want to put all the eggs in one basket. So they want to invest all in one. That's called,
You're
when it
healing.
comes to relationship, when it comes to investment and money and finances, that's fine. Don't put all your money in one basket. But when
you're
we
talking
talking
about
about
women not
human
wanting to
being,
put all eggs in one basket.
that's why I'm saying, yeah, they don't want to invest in the one individual, so they let them go. So they want to invest in one. So the one that you might, the right one that might be for you, you gonna let go because you don't want to invest in the one, then you're in trouble. Because look, humans is not no damn eggs, right? Why say that? I don't understand. What I'm
No,
saying is,
because
if
he's asking you if it's the woman, but it's you mean does the who is the person? If the person if it's the guy that says, I want to just date, I don't want to be in a relationship, like a serious committed relationship. And now the other person, however many months, however long, a year down the road, the person goes out on a date with somebody. So you're saying that that guy didn't want to put all his eggs in one basket?
exactly,
But
because
he
that's what we.
actually was saying if you meant the woman. That's
No,
what
that's what Ranchi was saying. Like I said, why would you let the person you care for, why would you let them go if then when you see them, you're upset? And it's like he said you didn't want to invest. Okay, so you didn't want
I'm
to.
not saying you don't want to invest. I'm saying that you had to heal. There's a reason why you didn't do it. You had core reasons why you didn't want to do it. So
Like-
although no, you are fixing yourself. Let's say you're a person that was damaged. You're finding your spot. You're finding yourself. You did not want to go in and risk that relationship so soon, rushing into it, for you to fall back in your old habits and break where you could actually be something great.
But now the damage is compounded because now you're damaged again.
Exactly.
But
And
you
you're
know what
done,
this
you're
is?
done damage again, and now you're dealing with
You
loss
become
again.
damaged
and you're
again.
like,
You're not
But-
damaged. You're not damaged.
Well,
You
you're
lose
hot.
something. You're not
well,
damaged. Or
if
you get
you
hot all day. You miss a
because-
stoplight. You get hot.
but
You're
wait,
hot.
you
wait.
think you think finding the right human being, the right person to be in your life is a stoplight?
Well,
Think
let's
about
say
it.
No,
Think about
but listen.
I'm saying
Not even.
you're
But Ron,
getting
wait
hurt
one
all
second.
day.
It
That's
might
what I'm
not
saying.
even be
Stop
that. It might be that you went in thinking that all you wanted to do was date. Everything got comfortable. Now you see this person out with somebody, and at that point is when you realize, wait a minute, I was
The
way more
availability,
invested in
right.
this than I thought I was going to be.
Right.
that
Yes.
could happen. That
Yes.
Oh,
could
that
happen.
happens a lot.
Especially if she got the
That
skills
happens a
that pays the
lot.
bills.
Right. Exactly.
I
think
You
don't
know?
know about all of that, Louis, but I know that happens a
I'm
lot.
just
I
saying.
know that happens a lot.
We trying to
That's
say
a
she don't make more. We trying to
that's
say
a
she don't make more
component.
money than you, and she could pay the
No,
bills.
no,
in the
no, no,
house.
no. We ain't talking about that.
That's not what Louis is talking
We ain't
about.
talking about that at all. If
I'm
she
making
got
trouble,
them
Lucy,
skills,
and I'm making trouble.
if she got them skills, then you know she gonna touch you right there, Ranchi. Yeah.
But you know what else too? I think sometimes when you're dating someone and they have this particular thing that they don't that like you don't like, and you'd be like, okay, let me date them a little bit longer, and you still have them there, dragging along or whatever, and then you realize that and then the person might roll up with somebody else, but then everything you didn't like about them just went out the window because now you have you have a threat to your
Exactly. There's competition.
you have competition now.
in the wind.
You know what I'm saying? So then now
Wow.
you're kind of being forced to okay, put up or shut up. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's okay for you to go out there and date, then I'm gonna go out there and date.
I
and
think
do
it's
the
an
same
ego.
thing.
I think it's an ego thing too, man. You know what I
It
mean?
is,
I don't
it
think
is.
I with you on that,
it's
Janos.
ego.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's ego. I don't want
Definitely.
to see she with nobody else.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But sometimes the feelings are they. I mean,
well,
if you,
yeah, that too. Yeah, no, definitely. It definitely, but the emotions is what bring on that ego.
Exactly.
But a lot of times, okay, men and women, thanks for correcting me, Keisha, men and women, they don't want to put all the eggs in one basket. But when you meet somebody that you care for, are you willing to run that risk of letting them out of your life? You have to ask yourself that question. And
Yeah,
if you
but then thinking if you've seen red flags on that person, but you
that's
still want to see if they might be not really red, but like a little pinkish.
Oh,
You know
Lord.
what I'm saying?
She's
I'm
talking
just
about
saying.
rainbow colors now. Jeez, Sandra.
it might be pinkish.
So a little pinkish, you know what I'm saying? So you'd be like, okay, fine, let me see if this person is going to change their behavioral patterns.
That's
You know?
different. That's different.
No, but I'm just saying because remember you're still in the testing out phase, you're still kicking the tires, testing it to make sure it's running running good and everything. So you're still testing it. So
Right.
so and if you see them out with somebody else now, you you speed up the test. You gotta be like, okay, well we're gonna just but it does have to do a lot with ego though, as y'all said, it have a lot to do with ego.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would Keisha on that. I invested in one. I ain't got no time for juggling. That is too much work. I tried to juggle 3 balls one time, and literally they were balls. And they didn't work. I didn't have the coordination skills for it. You know what I mean? I'm not doing it. So one ball, let me try it up at a time. If I see red flags, I'll let the ball fall because them red flags ain't no joke. You see them red flags for a reason. They are warning signs. Run like a deer if you see them.
But let me ask a question then, because I had this conversation the other day. If you have been friends with somebody for a long time and that person's usually accessible to you, y'all not dating or anything like that, you're just really, really good friends. You're the person's go-to person, and then that person gets into a relationship. Is it normal for them to have an attitude with you now because you're no longer accessible?
Women
Is
do that.
huh?
Women do that with each other. They got a BFF, whatever you want to call it, and somebody new come in and they trip for that.
Why?
I don't know. It happens.
Because
I've seen it happen. I
They feel
have no
threatened
idea.
they feel threatened that somebody else could take their place, that they might
I, I don't know why that happens. I never understood that. But I've seen it where women that are close are good friends and they got somebody new come in the picture. Another female, and again, just friends, nothing going on, nothing heavy, just friends. But now you're spending more time with this other person and it's like, oh, the attitude kicks in. I've so seen that.
Yeah.
I think it's stupid though, but that's my
Well,
opinion.
it's jealousy. It's just with anything. It's just because if you have like this friend who you've been friends with forever, and then all of a sudden like y'all go out and then like this next person who this you're hanging with know everything about something that happened and then they didn't tell you, you're like, what? I thought I was the best friend. You know what I'm saying? So it's jealousy. Yeah, but I mean, it
Yeah,
happens.
and we don't like to admit that we got jealous tendencies, but we all do. I mean, we don't feel jealous from now time to time.
But I do think it's jealousy, but I also think it's this person was giving you something, like they were easily accessible. You get comfortable in that situation, even though in the back of your mind, that possibility this person could find somebody. But I think the fact that you're not as accessible to that person anymore plays a role in it, because that was that person you could pick up the phone and call any hour of the day for anything. Now you got to respect the fact that they're now in a relationship. Some people can't handle that.
Yeah, but doesn't that mean that you were around the person for what they could do for you and not for who they were?
True.
Right. And a lot of time people are in relationships for that. What the kind of, not what you could do, not what you bring in, but what they doing for you, how they making you feel, what they bringing to the table. Yeah, that's a mess. Nikki asked a question: does everybody come with red flags? Does every person come with red flags in a relationship?
Depending on who they're in a relationship with, because
Yeah,
a red
most
flag
likely-
looks very different for different people.
Exactly.
It's gonna be different for everybody.
Right.
'Cause what might
A
be
red flag
perfect
would
for-
definitely be
what may
different. If
perfect
you have
for one,
somebody,
could be a ton of red flags for somebody else. So it's yeah. I guess we all. All right,
We
man,
are
to
all
go.
red flags.
We all have red flags, definitely. We are going because a lot of people's their personalities don't match. You know what I mean? For everybody may want an independent
that the
person
gospel
until
truth?
they everybody may want an independent person until they realize what independence means to that person. You know, when you start to realize that independence means that you're a want, not a need, it don't feel so good after a while. You know what I mean? But some people actually are independent like that. You're a want, not a need. And sometimes people prefer to be a need than a want. It doesn't make sense to me. I'm not smart enough for that one. But some people prefer to be a need than a want. I would, you know, don't know why people wouldn't want to be desired versus needing to have somebody to sacrifice. I'm not really big on understanding that one. They're so smart for that one.
I mean,
You
I
know,
think that once you can set boundaries with your friends, about like, come I think about it, that you have some friends, like, and even when I was in my last relationship, I mean, they would call like any time of the night, and I'll answer them, put them on speakerphone, so
What?
my significant other could hear. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, what?
Because say what?
Wait, what you said that? Something about speakerphone.
I said,
I was not
I
listening.
I said like I had female friends that would call me like whenever, and then I would put on speakerphone so my significant other could hear the conversation.
Sure.
Cause ain't nothing to hide. I mean,
No,
if
but
me
that
and you
person,
friends, like what are we
that person.
hiding?
So then why not just tell that person call you back? Like you're not in the right place to speak right now. Like call you and talk about it tomorrow.
No, but
Because
that to me that's like,
that person calls you
no,
is
but
because
why
they
though?
want to share that information with you, not with you and your girl. So ain't better just to tell your girl, hey, listen, we can't talk now, there's after hours or something, or let
No,
that
but
person to
that's
know
no,
you
but that,
calling
that's
me.
no, but then that looks shady. You know
That
what I'm
looks
saying? Like you
shady.
can't, yeah, because you can't talk in front of them.
No, but at the same time too, you airing out the girl business with your woman.
Me airing out the girl business. My thing about it is
Ain't
that,
gonna business to air out.
What
there
do you
you
mean?
go. You ain't got no business to air out.
She's
I
Yeah,
know
your
but
one
what?
thing
friend.
No,
though.
Calling you
no,
for
but to
something
his
personal
point,
about herself. She
right?
contact
But
you
to
for
his
something
point,
personal
if the
about her,
person,
and she
go
putting
ahead.
it out there for everybody. It's not a Facebook post or a trip she want to laugh about. She call you about something that she really needs to get off her chest. Something just happened to her.
yeah, but
Why?
you see the two, you're
Why?
viewing it differently.
Very
I
different.
And
understand
that's the communicate.
the protection part of the relationship. I understand that part where you're saying you don't put on
Right.
speaker your girl for the safety that your girl know. Hey babe, this is not what you think it is. She just calling me because what she's saying. No, I
But
get
but
where you're
but
trying to get
but
that. But
to add to Ranchi, your girl should trust you enough to know that you can have a private conversation with one of
a
your
private
friends, and it
conversation.
not be an issue. I think that's what Ranchi's saying.
Yeah,
Really,
that's what I'm
Louis?
saying.
You're
Really,
acting like
I
people
It's
are.
just
too late. If she
I
calls you
just
at one,
saying.
fuck what you
really,
want.
Me,
Louis?
you know,
Yeah, Louis
but
is
listen,
like,
you know I'm not that. You know I'm not that guy. First of all, I ain't answering the phone.
I'm
I'm not
gonna
answering the phone.
I just
I ain't answering
breathing
the
that one
phone.
up. I'm gonna
I gonna
just
be like,
breathe that
what?
one up.
Yeah, you gonna gotta wait.
But then what should have happened, like Shelly talks about, you and that friend should have a conversation that like it's like a like respect. You're in a relationship.
Right,
We don't call
right.
each other after a
I,
certain time. Like you're
I'm not
now
answering.
home with your person unless it's like something serious.
Yeah,
But
like what
just to
Nora
have
said
a
on that.
regular conversation, there
Unless your
shouldn't be.
partner knows about that
Yeah,
person.
but you
Oh
shouldn't,
yeah, the partner know for
like
the
Nora
process.
said here, you shouldn't be calling nobody house after hours.
Yeah,
That's
but I mean,
disrespectful.
no,
Pinky,
I mean
if
to have
you is my
friends.
go-to person on the phone, Pinky, if you's my go-to person on the phone, right? You going through something, Pinky, and I is the person you just call. Why am I not able to take your call? You going through a crisis.
Well,
And
then
Exactly.
my
I
friend
go
would
put
know
you away
about
for you
you,
to jump
but
off a bridge.
my
I
friend
go
would
wait for you to
know.
jump off a bridge and say, oh crap, boy, she just really need to talk to me last night.
Oh
Why
God!
wait
Well,
till
how
after
often that gonna happen, Ranchi?
No, but your partner gotta understand that, hey, yo, that's your friend, you know what? Or you handle all your business. Not everything have to be like so tense. Everything don't gotta be tense.
No,
Like,
but the thing,
yo,
okay,
But
understand.
you just said a person jumping off a
I
thing
mean,
there. That's tense, Ranchi.
No, I'm saying you don't know what a person is trying to bring across to you.
no,
So for
and I
you to
understand,
Shaman
and I
agrees with
understand that.
you.
So I'm like this, right? So I see it like this,
no,
and
I
this has
said
happened before.
prefer
If
therapist.
It cannot be a frequent thing because it has to be a situation where it's not a frequent thing. And if it's my friend Ranchi and it's Ranchi, but it can't be all kind of man calling me all kind of hours of the night because they need to talk to me.
No. I ain't saying
There has
that's
to be
okay.
some limits set.
I'm not saying that it's okay for them to just hit it to and then call you. I'm saying though, if it's something important and that this person really needs to speak to you, 'cause everybody know. You even have to bring that over as a friend to somebody and be like, yo, I got a woman, you can't call me 11 o'clock at night, 10 o'clock at night. I don't gotta tell you that. You already know that. But I'm gonna talk to you tomorrow. Stand up. That information could wait. It's not urgent. But if you calling me 11 o'clock at night, that means something urgent. I can't say, but I can put you on speaker because my girl need to hear what's going on here because I ain't doing nothing. I want to get catch. Absolutely not.
So what about transparency?
But she gonna know who call you. By that give me a second now. Yeah, tell me. Easy.
Because, so I'm like this, right?
I ain't gonna
When
sit Pinky
family-
calling me on the phone and run go outside the house to answer it. I go sit on right next to her and answer the call and be like, yeah, Pinks, tell me.
No, it's the same
nothing
thing.
is
It's
wrong
the same
with that.
thing.
Yeah, but it
It's not the
can't
same
be
thing
no
because
keep a
it's not
woman
a speaker.
calling no
The
all
conversation
hours of
is
the
still
night.
The
But wait a
conversation
minute.
is still
Wait a minute.
I like what Halima said. Halima said,
Yeah, she said, but does he live with his woman? If they live together, then no late calls unless an emergency. But if they don't live together, they may call late because they didn't know she was there.
Well, I'll tell you this much. You gotta answer the phone if it's an emergency. So
and Nikki, it's true. And like Nikki said, this is modern times what's late. Because she said 8 o'clock. Like, no, Granny Nikki.
No, not 8 o'clock.
No,
What can
just
sit
sit
and
on the
wait?
phone. I just call you to ask you what going on with our Netflix series.
And this is
Girl, you
very
just
true.
want
This
to
is
love
very
and
true
hip-hop.
too. You know, like
So
what Halima said.
when do you
Also-
have the discussion with your partner about whether or not late night phone calls are okay or not?
So let me tell you this, right? Let me tell you this.
I
had
don't
a-
have them, so I could care less.
Wait,
Like,
let's-
you got a conversation about it.
Wait,
Debbie
wait,
called me
wait,
late
wait.
at night.
honestly
I ain't got no
tell you,
hip
I've
Wait,
never
wait.
had that conversation.
Wait,
I have
Really?
never had that conversation.
Lucian was trying to say something. Give an example. Go ahead.
So let me say this, right? I remember when I used to like have my phone ringing and this and that, and then like this young lady who I was with, it was a problem. So I said, okay, fine. So I started putting my phone on vibrate and silent, and then that became a problem. So I'm just like,
Because you getting too much calls late at night from women.
No,
That's
I
a
ain't
problem.
saying- but it wasn't always from women. I have my partners who will call me anytime because I'm always up. I be up late night, and they know I'm up late night. I mean, y'all know I'm
Yeah,
up late
that's-
night. I mean, y'all have
that's-
seen me. We have sat down there and we've had conversations, and whomever I was dealing with at the time, they would come and sit down and join in the group to make them feel comfortable. So it wasn't. It's not about like, and like Halima is right. If I pick up the phone, I've been like, yo, I put you on speaker. Yo, Nikita on speaker, my girl right here. So I let them know ahead of time like what's going on. So yeah, I mean I gotta let them know. Yeah, and that's true because I do. So then like to then give them the option now. If you want to stay on the phone and talk or check yeah, we're gonna talk tomorrow. I'd be like, okay, cool. So then she hearing
If
all
that
this,
one hands
so
up,
it's not a problem. You
if she
understand?
hands up, she can say bye. Okay, if no, she can turn around and say bye. No, I'll talk to you tomorrow. Then your girl gonna get upset because why she can't talk to you now? It's still going to go wrong.
It's still-
But
It's
wait,
no-
but the
it's
whole
no winning.
problem, but this is
It's
the
a-
but this is the crux of that problem. The crux of that problem is that if the person is insecure,
right.
either that means that there's more healing that needs to be done, or for some reason you're not giving them a safe, you're not making them feel
Or-
like that they don't have a reason to be insecure.
Or the person who getting these calls is questionable. That is also a possibility. Sorry. Because if I got man calling me all kind of hours of the night, they're just friends. I mean, I've been single for years. I could have a plethora of men calling me all hours of the night. But am I inviting their calls? Welcoming their calls? No. No.
but
Not
that's-
9, not
that's
10, not
different.
11, not
That's
8,
different.
Nikki.
That's different.
Wait. Nora asks in the opposite. Are men okay with their women getting calls?
That's what I'm saying. So
Books.
should I be?
Yeah,
Oh,
one
honey,
more
I there on the
first.
phone now
Let me
with
go first.
John.
Let me
Next
go
night
first.
with John. With the next night, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Cause I
How
don't
about
be
this?
up late
How about
baking.
this? Put my speakerphone. How about that? Okay, put my speakerphone. And we be cool with it. Let me hear what's
Louis,
going on.
Like Ranchi said, people business shouldn't be out there. You need all the male. You don't need all the opposite sex
Think
male
one thing gonna say that. One thing gonna say that if it's a girl doing it.
but
He
wait
ain't saying
now.
that.
But wait now. Louis,
You
you
ain't
answer.
saying
You
that,
answer.
Ranchi.
Louis, you answer. I got answer after, but Louis, you answer. Louis, answer first. You said you don't say your part. You said you don't say your part.
Yo, listen,
Louis,
nah, I'm
answer.
good. I'm good.
Louis quiet.
What was the question? What was the question?
The question is, are men okay with their women getting late night calls?
Why you gotta put me on but why you gotta put me on blast like that?
Huh?
Why you gotta put me on blast like that?
You know what Lucien answer already. So you it just
Listen,
it just,
as long as like what Lucien was saying before, you could put it on speakerphone. Yeah, I there. What's up?
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
the people
right?
in business got to be out, like Ranchi said?
No,
I
but
just,
me in
to
the
me,
high.
that's an insecurity thing.
Folks,
If you got to be
this-
putting people on
Exactly,
speakerphone,
and
and
that's-
You think it's an insecurity
that
thing?
is an issue that needs to
if
be addressed.
it's such a
Yeah, but
tense
why?
thing, you could be so
Both to me,
insecure.
both parties'
What you
situation
doing?
need to be addressed. Both. It's not just the
No, but-
insecure individual.
First of all,
if there's-
parameters
you
need to be
do
set
not
as
need to
far
go in a
as in a relationship
Exactly.
when you're going
Exactly.
to allow
I'm
these
that insecure, I shouldn't be in a
individuals
relationship.
to have that. You guys got to set the tone. The tone has to be set at some point. So
Exactly.
and it works and
If
it's
you-
for both. It's a mutual respect. It's about mutual respect at the end of the day. You don't want
Exactly.
it, I don't want it. Simple.
Simple. But it's standard, Louis, because right now, Louis, Lucien, Pinky, Shelly, Debbie, each of you know that you shouldn't call somebody late at night knowing that they're next to their partner. That's principle. That's not something you think about. But if this person calls my partner, if I know that she's friend or whatever, and the person calls, she'll be like, oh, even if she tells me out of respect, hey, Louis calling me. Okay, cool. I don't need you to put it on speaker for me to hear what's going on between you and Louis. If I suspect about you, I don't want you talking at all.
Right.
Exactly.
Right,
I don't
right.
need to hear Louis' voice.
Yeah, but Ranchi,
I don't want to hear Louis' voice. So why Louis on speaker right now talking for me to hear?
But then why should you try to stop her from talking to somebody?
But I ain't
This
trying to
is
stop her from
compli-
talking
this
to
is-
nobody, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to stop her from talking to nobody. She could talk to whoever she wants, but I'm just saying.
So she should go in another room.
She could go talk what she want to talk.
But
Okay.
you go next room, are you cool with that?
She could go talk what she want to talk. She won't go on the phone.
There
The guy
has to be a level
friend.
of respect and
It's a level of
boundaries
respect,
need to
but
be
that person
set.
is calling
Clearly.
you because they have something really important to tell you. Because by principle, nobody calls nobody in the middle of the night.
Right.
We all know this.
Exactly.
It's not a discussion, it's nothing
I
crazy.
don't know about that,
If you
though.
want to jump off the roof, of course you could give me a call, Ranchi, or Lucian, or Louis. You could call. You know, I don't know my number. I'll get it out. Louis know my number.
So I gonna be in bed with my girl. I gonna be in bed with my lady, and I gonna be like, listen, Jackie just she got flash and down. I gotta go help her with that flash.
No, but you got to talk louder than I know because I can't hear what you're saying.
Oh my gosh.
At that point, it's like call AAA. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Natural,
Again,
right, Louis?
again, like it
All
all
I'm saying
depends.
is, though, you have to have respect for the caller.
You
You have to have some kind of respect and trust in your relationship that your wife could receive a call. If you
Yeah.
don't trust your wife on the phone, how you gonna trust her out of your side? Don't tell
I mean,
me
trust. Ranchi, I agree.
I see Ranchi point, and I appreciate
I agree.
Ranchi's point.
Trust has to be established, but again,
having a conversation, even if you get to go in the next room for whatever the conversation is between whatever happening on the other end of that call. But if I can't trust you, that means I can't trust you going to the grocery store. I can't trust you when you say you're gonna walk. I can't
But
trust
why
you when you say
is
you're
it is
if I
the-
cannot
the-
trust
the-
you, I cannot be with you. Why are you still in that relationship if there's no trust? You just
Yeah.
hurting yourself. It's already doomed.
and that's the basis of your argument. That's the basis of your argument, trust, and I get that.
Trust
But
not there.
still, your friends or your acquaintances need to have and understand that there are boundaries and respect what you have at home.
And that happens in the beginning of the relationship.
There you go.
That's what I
Conversation.
point out for everybody. In the
That's what has
beginning
to
of
be
the
said.
relationship, that happens.
The
That goes
So,
into the
so,
this person
so if-
already
if-
Because for some, there's some people, there's
So
some
it's a-
people
it's
that
new when
always
you
have
get
their
to
phone on
relationship
speaker.
that you
It make
set
a
that
difference
boundary.
whether they just don't pick up their phone. They put the phone on speaker and walk around and have the conversation. So now having to pick up the phone makes them uncomfortable because their phone is always on speaker. So what happened to those people? I mean, the conversation between the two parties need to be had at the beginning.
Tracy says stressed.
Nikki said, calm down. And Shanae, agree with you, Shelley. Some people are always there on speaker. You know, we always there in a group conversation, but that's family stuff, not no woman or man calling me and we there in a group late night. No. And if your partner
Exactly.
don't trust you,
I still
why?
think the parameters need to be set between you and your partner. If you all decide,
The parameters
okay,
have to be set.
I know when you were single, you used to have you're accustomed of having all these conversations because when you getting into the relationship, you and that person is the person calling you 2 o'clock in the morning, right? And so therefore, they know you to be up and on the phone all kind of hours,
I have
and
a
maybe with
question,
all
though.
kind of people.
I
So
have a
then
question.
therefore, then there
And
needs
your
to be a
behavior
conversation.
cannot be circumspect with your
Wait.
mate.
Wait.
I have
But
to put that
but
on there.
That's why we
you
have to have the
just notify that person,
conversation.
hey, listen, you could tell me about this tomorrow, you know, I hear with my woman. I hear
Right, you
next
can.
But
right now.
But
You can't
again,
And your
Well,
behavior can be circumspect.
it's too late. You notify that person tomorrow. Hey, what you
Let's-
didn't call me
let's hear
at that hour?
Louis'
You know I got my
question.
woman.
Let's hear Louis' question.
I was just like
Go ahead.
Shelley was saying, at what point in the relationship do you have the
forget.
conversation? After the first toothbrush leave in the night or the first bag move in? Like when do you determine when?
but it's not even when the bag moves in
I
because if
think
that
that's
person
before,
happens to spend the
yeah.
night.
I think if you know the type of personality the person you getting involved in has, right? You know the kind of stuff that they do. You know what kind of lifestyle they live. You know, I'm not a morning person. Nobody ain't gonna call me 7 o'clock in the morning. They'll call me at 11 because I'm a night person. So we gonna have the conversation.
You gotta
I
let
will
right,
work with
right,
people in different time zones. Me and
right.
expecting somebody, you know, I have friends in different time zones. So therefore, a late night phone call for me may be a very normal thing. But it's to have
Right,
the
right.
conversation with the person I'm in a relationship with.
Let
I'd be
them
like,
know.
okay, are you okay with this? I mean, this
Right.
is, you know that this is the life that I live. When do I now have to readjust my lifestyle? Because we're having a mutual conversation and we have to come to an agreement. If you don't like the late night conversations because you feel that we need to have the us time at that point in time, I now have to make adjustments to the fact that my friends in certain countries can't call me at them hours, right?
But
Because my life
then you
is
may have to
your
understand
life
your
is changing,
circumstances too, right? You
which
make
is why the conversation is necessary,
right.
right? That's why the
Right.
conversation is necessary.
Because your who you are in relationship matters, right?
And they should know that if this is the type of person you are, like Lucian said, me not much but Lucian, but apart from the fact that we like to eat at the same places, but if you're a night owl like me,
Right.
my brain works best from 2 p.m. till about 1:30 a.m. in the morning. Most of my conversations that are going to make sense are going to happen during those hours. Right?
Exactly.
Period. Don't call me first thing in the morning and
Nope.
ask me for no advice on nothing, because I'm gonna tell you eat chocolate until I get to my office. Right? That's going to be the response. But that is my personality. So now if I'm in a relationship with somebody and that person is a morning person, even to that, if the person has they operate in a different time zone from you, that needs to be a conversation. You have to notice that when you get into the relationship. So if you know these little things gonna be in the way, why not have a conversation about them things? Okay, I would prefer, even I know you have a lifestyle and I know you're a night person, but this is the time that I would like to set aside for us. Can we agree on you not getting phone calls after 10 p.m.? All right, cool.
So what about if you put your phone and do not disturb at 10 o'clock?
Right.
Then
Well, mine is like that now because my doctor tell me I need to sleep more than 2 hours a night. Can't make myself sick.
right. So then,
Right.
suppose the do not disturb comes on, and then still they ask you, how come, because they see calls coming in or whatever, but then your phone's on silent. So
That's the flip side, Lucien.
But then at
Yeah.
that point in time,
That's a whole
that's
other
what I say.
conversation.
My phone, we had, well, at that point in time, we would have had the conversation. We had a conversation. There'll be no calls after this time. Even if my phone rings, I'm not going to answer it because this is what we agreed on.
exactly. So
See,
I
I personally don't like having kind of rules in a relationship. I like the freedom. So people, yeah, like me, I'm not gonna do certain things. But like Shelly says she's a night person.
Period.
If
End
I
of story.
trust my mate, and that's why I need to be in a relationship where I trust people, like Lucian, that'll be walking late at night. If they get a call at night, I mean, I am not going to be up. I don't want to hear your conversation. I gonna be sleeping. I just want to trust you. I want to go sleep. I have to understand that you're a night person. You don't be up late. You don't have conversation.
I think
I got to trust you. But no,
I
if
think
you
we're
get
all-
late night call every night from the same person, I can't touch your phone. And that's what I'm saying is the things that create question and make your mate questionable.
I think we're all kind of saying we all obviously everyone has different backgrounds, different personalities. I think we're all saying the same thing, and it all surrounds really having the conversation with your partner and setting what should be from what shouldn't.
And trust, trust.
Yeah.
what about allowing your partner into your phone?
Why you
We
going
talked
there for?
about
Why you
this.
going
I
there
don't have a
for?
problem with
What
that.
you going there for?
I
Kill
mean-
it.
You see, Ranchi was doing this.
Lucian,
Kill it.
Let me
Lucian,
hear
you were
that.
doing good. You were doing good all night, Lucian. You know what I
I
mean?
know. So,
You ain't gonna touch that there again
Yeah,
because then I don't got he get lectures and
I'm just saying,
that's a red flag. I was told that
But again-
my
but
behavior is a
again-
red flag. So
But
I ain't
again, every situation is going to be different. That's number one. And
Right,
number
everyone's
two,
different.
how invested in this relationship you are is going to have a thing too. Because I've heard married people say, I don't touch other people, the other person's phone. I just do, out of respect, I don't do it. Again,
Respect
if you
for privacy.
trust your partner, like, I don't understand why you need to touch somebody else's phone. Like, I just personally don't understand that. I do know people who use each other's phones or whatever. As long as there's nothing indiscretion going on, it shouldn't be a problem. But again,
But that's the
it really
issue.
matters. But I think it really matters how invested in the relationship. Like, is this you're just dating? Is it that you're just, or are you married to this person? I think there's levels to it.
But this is the thing. Again, trust. Again, what are you doing to make your mate doubt your behavior? This is not about you wanting to go into your person, your husband phone. This is about you can't touch your husband phone. This is about your husband to go to the shower with the phone. Your behavior is questionable. Why are you behaving this way? That is the issue. When your phone can be touched, your phone can be looked at, this is an issue because now you have created an insecurity in your mate. And again, I could only talk about from experiences.
Yeah,
I have no
so-
time for ideals because I don't live in an ideal world. I live in the real world. And when you got to take your phone in the shower, come on. That's so
Exactly.
But Kiki, if
You
somebody's
take
doing
names
that,
on your
there's
phone?
other
That is
problems.
make TikToks in the shower.
Exactly, that's the issue.
And
First of all, you don't play games on your phone?
My phone. I don't
Huh?
play game.
I see you don't play games on your phone in the bathroom.
I don't play games on my phone in the bathroom.
I'm not
I
going
don't
to
play
go
TikToks.
there. I'm just saying there are certain things. It's just
like
with the
games,
phone
alright.
call. It's all inclusive. If your behavior is circumspect, because I have not seen wanted phone records or nothing for 10 years. Okay?
But
That's
you're
how
American,
I'm
you're
caring I am
flexible.
about your phone and all of that. But when you got to go in the shower with your phone, that's an issue. Your phone
Inside the
can't be
shower, yes. The
touched.
bathroom, no. But inside the shower, I would be afraid that you'd get electrocuted.
I wouldn't because
Oh,
you
no,
are
that point
stupid
doesn't
enough to
matter.
take it in the shower and take it. If you get electrocuted, that's your behind. But
No, but if they take it inside the shower, then yes, we may have an issue. I'll be like, okay, something's not right with your head. You know what I mean? But
oh,
in the
some
bathroom,
lady calling
most
the
people sit down
same
on the
hour
phone
every
and
night.
on their phone.
I will make a TikTok.
Miss call from the same person 1 o'clock every night on your phone? Questionable.
How you
That's
know?
what we
How
talking
you,
about.
how you, how you know they
Other
get a phone
problems.
call 1 o'clock every night?
Yeah, but if you're to that point, you're already having other problems. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like,
There is no doubt. That's why the divorce rate is 56% and higher. There's no doubt about that.
I knew we'll get to a percentage at some point tonight.
Mm-mm.
Thank you. You know that too, right? Okay. So Louis, how you feel about that?
Stop calling me out, man. Damn.
well, remember, even Dr. Williams said there's no need for anybody to be in each other's phone. Dr. Williams said
Privacy is privacy.
There is no need,
Yeah.
but there is no
Yeah,
need
yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah,
There's
yeah,
no
man.
need that the phone should be not touched by your mate either.
You don't need to get in my phone. You don't pay for it for one. You don't need to get in it. What are you getting in my phone for? Your phone
My
to work.
sister will call my sister will call me from my brother-in-law phone, and I'll be like, "Oh, kid calling me on his Deidre voice." Me, I could have never touched certain people's phone. I couldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Well, I use my work,
Keisha say,
my
red
phone.
flags.
I use my phone for work, and so it has a lot of sensitive information in there, so I can't really just.
again,
Lucian,
how
why you laughing?
in a relationship you are, and again, what like
Lucien,
Shelly
phone at
said,
HIPAA.
No,
Very
like,
much
you
so.
need to
Very
search
much
up-
so. No,
Louis, just remember
I
you
kid
can
not.
get it back again. That's all.
Huh?
Just
What?
remember you can do it back to him.
Listen, my phone, like I said, it's off limits.
But again, some people it's just like I don't know. I don't see.
what about you, Ranchi?
Really? I think all I know my answer already. I think all I know my answer. You ain't gonna get to my phone. What you need my phone for? You want to make a call? 911?
Stop it.
It's free. Just take out the phone, use it. You don't gotta get in the phone to call 911. Like, use the
Mm.
phone alone. No, but I
And
ain't got a problem. If you want to make a call, I don't mind opening the phone, you make your call. But if I open the phone, you make a call, and the next thing you do
It's whack.
is try to go through my messages.
Do
I don't
whack
trust
off
you.
with it.
I don't trust you no more.
Tati
So
says
wait,
she don't agree.
If
Sorry.
they're there in phone ranch and they whack off, you following?
Yeah, but where you going? You say you're trying to call Susie. They're quick call Susie and hang up. Then
Yeah,
Susie call you back. Where you going on phone?
Let me move on from this phone thing. We'll never agree.
Let me just say, Halima said, it's my phone. Why do you need to go through it? I have private conversations with friends and family that isn't the partner's business.
Exactly.
But,
Thank you,
but
Halima.
Louis
Exactly.
Lucien just said too that you put them on speaker. A text message is just like a phone call. It's just text. Why you put them-
Inception, we're Inception again, layers and layers.
Yes, exactly. It's the same
I
thing.
do think it's trust
Text
issues
messages,
on
phone
both sides.
calls. It's the same thing. It's just a different way of communicating. But it's the same thing. You're communicating at an hour. You're communicating however. I'm not putting you on speaker for you to understand what this person trying to tell me. I'm not showing you my text messages for you to agree that we are allowed to talk. I'm not asking your permission. Out of respect, yes, no problem. I'm not having late night conversations every night. But if somebody calls me out of the blue in the middle of the night, it's an
Right.
urgent call. They really need to get me. So I ain't going into that. I guess I young. That's what I say. I young. I guess I young.
No, you're young. No,
I
because
hold
it applies.
I holding on to the young guns. I holding on to my young guns tonight. Oh yeah.
Well, we ended up talking about these other things so long, and we only have 9 more minutes. So we're probably going to have to table this conversation for next week. But
Nikki Harasi Aranchi.
one of the things everybody did say that they wanted us to talk about was, have you or your partner gotten complacent in your relationship, and why? And how would you be able to change that? And it happens in most relationships, I think, because I think that we get comfortable and we forget that what we were doing to get into the relationship, we need to continue, and we need to grow, and we need to do different things in the relationship. And I guess another part of that too is, if your partner is being complacent, how do you get them to change? Because at the end of the day, if somebody is being complacent, they're opening the door for a whole bunch of problems. But it happens a lot in
But
relationships. When you get comfortable.
isn't it the goal to be comfortable? Isn't
The
it
goal is to be comfortable.
Pleasant and comfortable are
Yeah.
not the same thing. They're
Exactly.
not synonymous at all.
No, it's not the same. But in pursuit of comfort, you get complacent because you pick up routines.
I hope not.
So then you should be happy with living on the edge. Don't argue with your man every time he goes over the bar. He just pick up and he move. Because then it's random.
For
Let's have a
me,
roller coaster. Let's get upset today. Let's
but
plan this Thursday.
no, but it doesn't have to.
argument
It
because
doesn't have to be that.
it's
But
spicy.
you don't know a little odd and crazy anyhow, right? But for me, learning is a new thing. Every day we're supposed to be changing and growing. You shouldn't. If getting comfortable means we at a place when we could do this together and it not be an issue. For me, that's what comfortable is. We could do new and exciting things. I mean, I may never get anybody to jump out a plane with me. You know what I mean? But I would. I mean, like
Don't
I
say that.
like to do them kind of stuff. You know what I
I
mean?
could go with you to the place and cheer you on and wait till you jump
Right.
out.
You know what I mean? But I think learning new things and doing new things is a level of comfort. You know what I mean? Because it's the
But that's
only
not a
way to
daily-
build
but
memories.
That's not daily, Shirley. That's not daily. You don't do something.
You
daily.
can't get complacent in a relationship, Ranchi. That means the relationship will die out because
No, it's not that it's dying up. It's you cannot do new things every day. You pick up a routine. You have a job.
Right. That's
That's not
comfort,
every
not
day.
A
complacency.
millionaire, billionaire still have headaches and struggles that they can't keep their family together because you have to be in multiple places. You have a life.
Right.
You have
But
things to uphold to.
comfort and
But yes, we could go to,
complacency means
there's
you
a
don't
new
want to do
restaurant.
anything new.
There's
Right.
a new restaurant. You could do it. Yes, we could do it. But to say that you're gonna avoid being complacent.
But Ranchi, you have to think about this. People mature, people grow in a relationship. Sometimes both,
but you don't grow
sometimes
daily.
one more than the other. So if you stay, complacency is
A
staying
plan
stagnant.
don't go daily, girl. Stop it.
It's complacency is staying stagnant.
just don't see the
have to
growth.
do new things, learn new things, have new conversations, experience new things. It's not saying it every day. It's not even saying it every month. But as you're growing and you're learning, it's sort of like you can't, you know that when this person was dating you or this person just met you, you were taking care of your hygiene, you were taking care of yourself. And now you get complacent because, hey, I got the person, so now I don't have to. Those are all those things.
Also,
are-
that's why we're looking at it. Okay. no
yeah,
problem.
because
I
people do get complacent in that way as well. They,
Mhm.
you know, somebody might. I have a friend who's married, and she's had some kids, and she's gained some weight, and so her husband told her that, you know, it's good, and she said to me, he could say that all he want, but I know I am going to work on me as a married woman, because she knows that, again, he's saying that because maybe he's not trying to push her to go and do something right now, but she realizes, and she's mature enough to understand, at the end of the day, he's going to want, what was he attracted to? And again, these are conversations that people don't always have because we get comfortable. You got the girl, you got the guy, and now it's like done. Go ahead, Lucian.
I wanted to just revisit that telephone
We will.
thing one more time. So the thing about it is, I remember I had a friend in Atlanta, right? So one time we were sitting down there chilling, and then she's like, "Oh, take my phone. This is my code. This and that." So her husband is sitting down right next to me, right? And he's just like, "What? You just gave him the code to your phone, and I don't have it?" So I turned and I looked at him. I looked at him. I'm like, he don't have your phone, like your code, because to me it's like, once we married, like, yeah, ain't no, I need to have your code for your phone. You need to have my code for my phone. That's how I move it. You know what I'm saying? Because we married, we shouldn't be hiding anything. You know. And they had this big argument in front of me, and I'm just like, this is crazy. But then to me, in my mind, I'm just like, why you never give this man your code for your phone? You know, so
Right.
it made me like, it was just kind of crazy to me. But anyway,
Wow.
yeah.
Marilyn also, on top of that, in relating to that conversation. She said, if my husband isn't near his phone and it rings, I'll answer and ask the person to hold on. And she said,
Right.
that with maturity.
No,
Yeah.
Tyrone,
Like that ain't the issue, Marilyn. The issue is that the husband phone ring, you can't touch it. Now, you know that's a problem, Marilyn. If your husband phone rings at any time and you never ever could touch your husband phone, somebody gonna get in trouble, Marilyn. We know that.
I don't think the phone thing pertains to that. Exactly.
That's what I am talking about.
I more feel it's about the privacy of the phone. Because the phone could ring, no problem, you answer, yeah, hold on. But
Yep.
it's a difference when you want my phone to go through my phone. Going
See, we
through your
don't
phone and answering
took it to
a call are two
extremes,
different things.
right?
Yeah, but it's two different things.
But
Yep.
that's I talking about the part where you can never touch your mate phone. You don't have the code. You can't. The guy go in the shower with the phone.
That's suspect.
It's very, very, very. And let me tell you,
I don't go to the bathroom with my phone. I don't go to the bathroom with my phone, whatever. I don't play games or whatever on my phone.
If I have to question you about the phone, like I'm not gonna even question you about it. I gonna make my assumption it's not going to be good, and I done with it. I'm not gonna fight it. Me, gonna try to see the phone. I could care less. If you so circumspect, I don't want to have nothing to do with it, and I done. And when I make my assumption, that's it. I mean, assuming you're doing nothing good. But the whole thing about complacency is we have to realize that relationships is like anything. It's like a garden. It's like anything. If you don't invest time and energy, it's going to fall apart. So you have to invest the time. And it's not just, you have to invest in yourself, yes, because you are a part of the relationship, like your friend who invested in herself and keeping herself up good too. But she also have to invest in the relationship, because the relationship is something separate. You have yourself to invest in, and now you have to invest in the relationship. And if you don't invest in them relationships, they will fall apart.
True.
You know?
Well, we're gonna table it for next week because I don't want to go over time. But again, these are just things to think about either in the relationship, before going into the relationship. Like Shelly said, having these conversations beforehand, because I think a lot of people don't. We just get into our relationship until there's a problem. We wait.
Well, you're gonna have to revisit things, because you can't. When you come up with an encyclopedia in the beginning of the relationship, you're gonna forget.
But I'm just saying, those are things that you have to keep in mind. I want to, number one, thank everybody who has been commenting. I appreciate it. And I hope that you left with a nugget. You go back to a conversation with someone else about it, because these are things that can impact a relationship just in dating, or if you're in a long-term relationship or married. So I want to thank everybody. Thank you guys as well. Thank you, Shelly. And thank you, Ranchi, and the crew for joining in the conversation. I'm sure people got some good laughs, but I think people got some good insight as well. So I want to offer everybody, please be safe as we're still going through this crazy time. And we will see you back here next week, Thursday.
Thanks, everyone. Wishing you good things, great things, beautiful things.
Good night, everyone. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you, everybody.
Good night.